I have a very special treat for you, working moms. Today on the podcast, I have fellow coach and friend Laura Conley. Now, she is a coach that helps women lose weight for the last time. And today on the podcast, we're not only talking about the little shifts that you can make to prioritize your health and how to fit that into your already busy life. More importantly, we're talking about what it takes to feel good in your body and the importance of feeling good in your body if you really want to create a life that feels balanced. If you're someone that has a constant talk track in their head around what they're eating, how they look, how their clothes fit, just generally their weight, then this is the podcast for you. Are you ready? Let's get to it. Hello, working moms. Thank you for being here. I am so excited because today on the podcast, I have another coach with me, somebody that we've been in masterminds together and we reconnected recently and have just had some of the greatest conversations. So I'm so excited to bring her expertise here. Thanks, Laura, for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I love it. So
Can you give us
excited.
like a little intro here into like who you are, what you do, life?
Yeah, totally. My name's Laura Conley, and I help moms lose weight for the last time from a place of fun. I live in Colorado with my daughter who is 7 and my son who is 5 and my husband who's 42. And I'm obsessed with being a coach, and the whole why is to free the moms. It's the entire point of my business is to free the moms. So all the traps, but primarily diet drama, our effed up relationships with food and our bodies. This is something that I struggled with for what felt like forever, almost 20 years. And then when I had my daughter, the story goes, I was 6 weeks postpartum and I was beating myself up for not bouncing back into my pre-baby jeans, quote unquote, fast enough. She was like literally cooing up at me and I'm sitting there like not even able to enjoy the moment because I'm like, why can't you get yourself together and get in the pre-baby jeans? And what's wrong with you? You're so disgusting. And I was like, this stops now. Like this ends now because if I don't heal my relationship with my body and with food, I'm going to pass it down to her. Like I know I can say all the right things, but I knew in that moment, it was like an out of body experience. I knew in that moment that she would inherit it just from my behavior. And, noticing me trying on 17 different outfits or me like turning away from my husband when he like inevitably went to like, go grab my ass in the kitchen or whatever. Like, I just knew it. It's like prior to that, I had really accepted defeat. I was like, this is just going to be my thing. I'm just always going to yo-yo. I'm always going to be on a green juice cleanse or eating my face off with pizza and wine. And I was just like, I have to stop this because I don't want her sitting in the high school cafeteria counting calories with her friends. Like, I cannot have that. So,
I mean, our kids are the greatest motivators.
oh my God.
I think it's a motivator for most of my, for me, for most of my listeners too. It's like, I don't want my kids to think that work is life. Like I want it to be an important part of life and I want you to choose what you do really intentionally. I want you to love the heck out of everything that you do in your work life. And I don't want your identity to be wrapped up in it. Like it matters so much to me to instill in my daughter in particular, like who she is and like believing in at the core of like in her and who she is, her enoughness and all the things that we talk about. I love that that's your part of your story too.
Well, it's so good. And to go back to your original question, like you're freeing the moms as well, because that's another trap that we fall into because of our culture. So yeah, we're just over here freeing the moms.
Oh
Good
my
job,
goodness. Go us. And to the listeners who are here to try to glean some of that energy and that knowledge and all the stuff too. Like you are badasses that are trying to figure it out. And so I admire you as well. And I mean, I told you this before when I told you I asked you to come on the podcast. I said I've literally never had a conversation around dieting or body almost ever on this podcast. Not almost ever. I haven't. I just haven't really dove into this topic. Probably for lots of reasons. So I just love that we're actually having a really honest conversation around this because it is something that takes up so much mental space.
Oh,
Tell me all about like the mental fatigue and the stuff that goes on in our mind when it comes to our bodies and dieting and all the things.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the mental fatigue, the food noise, the love-hate relationship with our bodies, the like picking ourselves apart, all of it. Like for me, I was constantly calculating like, okay, how many calories did I just have? Am I going to have to do another workout tomorrow to like make up for that? Like I was constantly either earning my treat or like punishing myself for like I remember going to the gym one night at like 10:30 p.m. to like work off a dessert that I had eaten or probably like 3 desserts I had eaten. But, like that kind of behavior, and I think we all feel this, or most of us have not gotten trapped by this trap, or it can happen in the morning. Like we wake up and we're like, oh, I said I wasn't going to eat the ice cream and I just went to town on the ice cream. Like, and we wake up with regret. And then the chatter comes in when we're getting dressed and we're like, I don't really want to put on anything except for these like old worn out Lululemons. And we go downstairs and we just have this feeling of shame. And then we aren't greeting our kids the way we want to greet them. And then we eat the leftover French toast sticks because we are trying to like shove the shame down. And it's just this cycle that we sit at our desk and we don't feel good in our pants. And it just goes on and on and
It
on
goes
and
on
on.
and
And
on and on.
we're
And
not
that's all
present.
you're giving us our inner dialogue, right? Like, and that's just like a snippet of it. There's so much more every time we look in the mirror to I think about it while I sit and pee, and I think about this flab thing that, while I'm peeing, I'm thinking about what's going on at my stomach. It's like, it's just it is a constant conversation. And I wanted to frame this like conversation within the idea of work-life balance, since that's what we're all about here on the podcast. It's like, why is this important?
Yeah.
Why is it
Yeah.
important to like to put some attention to the way we're thinking about our body and healing the way we our experience with our body if we want to create a balanced life? And I'm curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah. Because it's impossible to create work life balance if you feel like, can we swear on here? If you feel like,
Not,
you know
not
what,
gonna
crap.
be moved out.
If you feel, if you don't feel good in your body, it is inevitably going to bleed into all other areas of your life because your body is your home. You can't escape it. A lot of us try to living neck up, but it's so important to feel good in your body. And it makes it so much more likely that you will achieve work life balance if it's not the constant soundtrack or rhetoric, because then you can be present in the things that you want to be present in.
Yeah, yeah. One of the things I teach on this is like the internal has got to match the external, right? You could
Mm,
have you could have the house and the spouse and the kids and the money and even the body. Like you could
yes.
literally have it all, as we like to talk about it, in everything you've ever dreamed of. But if your internal dialogue is constantly shaming yourself and telling yourself that you're not good enough and beating yourself up for what you just ate and what you look like in the mirror, no matter what you look like in the mirror, like if that's your internal experience telling you you're not doing good enough and you should be doing more, all the things, you won't experience work life balance. You can't just change the external and feel a life of balance, right? The internal and the external have to match. And so, and what you're saying is, and what we're talking about here is like one of those kind of constant chatter pop-up boxes, if whatever you want to call it in your head, is one that has to do with your image essentially, and your weight and what you're thinking about in yourself.
And also just how you feel energetically, like how you feel in your body, like emotionally, energetically. Like I think that plays a role too. Like
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
genuinely feel hungover from the sugar from last night, or you have a lunch that maybe doesn't love you back, then
Yeah.
you're also not going to feel good in your body. So there's so much at play here, right? From body image to actually the way that the
Mhm.
food affects us. And I love what
Yeah.
you're talking about too, because again, it bleeds into every other area of your life. It's impossible for it not to be, because it is your home. And it's like, can you imagine if you hated the home that you lived in, or that you didn't take care of your home? Like, I know how it feels when like my junk drawer.
I'm gonna come home to a really messy house, and it's gonna be awful inside, and you're, like, already stressed out just walking into the door.
Yeah. Yeah, like I know how I feel when my closet's like disorganized and messy and
Yes,
I'm not taking care of my home. That bleeds into so many other areas. Like
yeah,
when you clean out your kitchen cabinets and you're like skipping around like so light and free, I feel like it's the same as when you
Yeah.
really feel good in your skin.
Yeah.
It bleeds into every other area of your life.
Yeah. So I think this is a really important distinction, though, to make because I have a feeling. I mean, we're talking about feeling good in your body, and most women probably equate losing weight, exercise, or diet as what we mean. Like that's kind of synonymous. And I don't think that's what you mean. Tell us
Yeah.
the difference here.
So, number one, you can have it all. Like, we talked about this when you came on my podcast too. Like, I used to get mad at myself when I wanted to have it all. So, like, that moment that I described to you when I was like butt naked out of the shower and I was beating myself up for not bouncing back into my pre baby jeans fast enough, quote unquote, I really had this like conviction that I had to heal my relationship with my body and food. But also, I knew I did want to lose the excess baby weight because it didn't feel like me. So I want to give people permission to want to lose weight if you want to, and it's coming from you. It's coming from inside, not from society, not from like, oh, I have to weigh this so that I can, going back to your verbiage and all of our verbiage, good enough. Like, I don't want that to be your reason. I really don't. But I do think this like 90s heroin chic swung a little too far to the other end of the spectrum because for me, I was a yoga teacher and a coach before I was a weight loss coach, and I felt so much shame for wanting to lose weight because and I'll get into feeling good in your body like today without having to lose any weight at all because there's that as well and that's a huge piece of it. But I do want to give people the permission slip that if you genuinely want that, you are allowed to have that. And it doesn't mean you don't love your body. And in fact, it could mean that you do love your body. Just because you want to change something doesn't mean you don't love it, right? Like your clients, right? They probably love their jobs, their careers. They probably love their families. They just want an upgrade.
Yeah.
And so that
A
can be
lot of
true
them.
for yeah,
Yeah.
that can be true for my clients too. And I felt so much shame for wanting to lose weight because I was a yoga teacher and I should want to be evolved and like I should be spiritual AF. But then on the flip side of that, there was also like, but you should also be a waif because you're a yoga teacher in LA. So what I'm getting at here
Never
is
win.
yes, exactly. What I'm getting at here is like going inward and figuring out what it is that you want without the external noise. And if that does mean that you want to lose some weight, fine. But I want to give you guys the gift, if you want it, of the ability to feel good in your body today. And there's so many things that we can do.
I want to go into that in just a second, but I just want to highlight this because I think it's because what I heard as you were describing that is it's the reasons matter. Why
Yes.
why you're gonna choose to diet or why you're gonna choose to lose weight or start exercising, whatever it is, the reasons matter. The drive that, if it comes from a place of shame, guilt, inadequacy, not feeling good enough, if it's coming from that place, then it's not gonna be sustainable. It's going to be, I don't know, it's probably gonna be lots of other things. It's gonna feel terrible while you do it.
Yeah, it's not going to work. It's not going to, well, sustainable. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Versus coming from a place of I love myself so much and I have such a strong vision of what I want my life to be. And it's so good now and I want more and I want to move in that direction and I love who I am and I want more. And like that kind of compassion, love, worthiness, that type of energy and drive is still going to drive you toward losing weight or exercising, whatever. It's going to feel totally different while you're doing it, and it's going to be more sustainable. That's what I
Yeah,
heard.
that's exactly right. And that's what I coach all of my clients to get to that like clean place and to find the reasons that feel really aligned and truthful for them. But I also want to call out that if you still feel like you have a desire and it's coming from the external, you're not wrong or bad because we have been so hyper socialized and programmed to look a certain way. We have. So if you're like, you know what? I just want to lose weight because I want to look hot in a bikini. You don't have to make yourself wrong or bad. That you are not wrong or bad for wanting that. That is the way that you've been programmed. It's literally the air that you breathe. But eventually, yes, we want to untangle it and we want to untangle.
But again, it's because you want it, right? Like, that's different than saying it's because I should have it or society tells me that that's what my body is supposed to look like.
Yeah,
Like, you could still wanna look hot. If you wanna look hot, you wanna look hot. Just like, again, it just is like, where is that motivation coming from? Is that from you? Is it because your husband wants that on you? I mean, is that because whatever, why do you want it? That
exactly.
is where
Why?
it all comes down to.
Yes. And not shaming yourself for any of your whys because I'll get a lot of clients that are like, oh God, it's so vain. And I'm like, is it though? Like, it's so vain to like want to wear my beautiful clothes. And I'm like, is it? Because to me, wearing beautiful clothes is like an expression of like who
Mm.
I am. And it's like an art form. And
Yeah.
that's also okay. So I know we're getting like away from your question,
No,
but
I mean, actually, that just sparked something for me. I had a conversation many years ago with a really close friend of mine who talked about how she was vain and she had no problem with it. She's like, "I'm totally vain and it's totally fine." And
yeah.
I have never been able to reconcile that. That conversation comes up
Ooh.
in my mind every once in a while, and I'm like, "I just don't know if I agree with that." Until maybe now we're having this conversation around vanity, and it's like, "You know what? That's totally okay if she wants to be vain." Based on her reasons. Like, it is always about, do you love your reasons? And we talk about this when it comes to anything. If you decide to work tonight to get more done or you don't, and you decide to, shut down and be down, there's no right or wrong to that. I'm not going to tell you one is better than the other or you're going to feel more balanced one way or the other. I just want you to love your reasons for it. I want you to feel the energy behind your reasons and make sure that you're really grounded in them. Then nobody can argue with you. I can't argue with you. It's just you decided to work late tonight and you love your reasons for it. Great. That's it. That's all we want to get to. We want to get to a place of real intentionality and like you've made decisions based on desire and goals and vision and, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Perfectly said. Exactly.
So, okay, I want to hear all the things about what it takes to what we were going to start talking about. We were going to start talking about what?
Feeling good in
Different
your
ways.
body. I think feeling good
But
in your
ways of
body.
doing that, yeah, ways of doing that. That's what. Okay,
Yeah,
tell
so
us
like
more.
nothing has to change for you to feel good in your body. And I would also put it on you, the listener, to explore like, what does that mean for me? When is the last time that I felt good in my body? Do you know? It could be when you were 6 years old. It could have been 2 weeks ago when you were in a spinning class, or it could have been, last night when you were having a little, oh God, this is like a G-rated podcast over here. Like, a little foot rub session, we'll call it. Anyways. So find out when was the last time you felt good in your body. And some of you might be like, I don't like never. I don't know. That's okay too. Right. So, like, what does you feeling good in your body feel like? Can we describe that for you? Because it's going to be individual. I'll give you some more general like tips and tricks as well. But I would love for your listeners to really like go inside and be like, what does that feel? What does that mean to feel good in my body? When's the last time I felt like that? And how would I describe that? And how can I create more of that now? So those are some questions you can ask yourself. But some of the things that I think is like, like having, okay, so say you do want to lose weight and you don't want to buy a bunch of new clothes. I would say have 2 outfits that you feel amazing in. If you don't want to lose weight, have 7 outfits or 14 outfits or 10 out, whatever's right for you, the number. Like every single body can find some clothes that they feel amazing in. And then also, the practice of getting into your body. So many of us are living from the neck up. We don't even like really know what it's like to be in our bodies and to feel good in our bodies. And so some of the easiest ways you can do that, and you can explore, like maybe it feels good, maybe it doesn't feel good. Like it's really cultivating a relationship with your body, which is your home, which don't even get me started on how amazing your body is. Yes, because it birthed kids and it can walk up a mountain, but also you guys, it's amazing because it is a truth teller. Your body speaks in a language. And if you can listen to that language, you have access to your intuition, to your gut. Oh God, I'm getting all passionate over here. But your body will, like, how you were just saying, like your reasons, know your reasons. Like if you want to work late, you can even test that against your body. Like body, do I want to work late? Am I supposed to work late? And your gut will be like, no, you're supposed to snuggle your kids tonight. Or your gut will be like, yep, we're supposed to work. Like, so cultivating the relationship, yeah, like feeling good in your body so you can like rock a bathing suit and go down the water slide with your kids for sure, but also so that you can tune back into the innate intelligence that lives within all of us, which I think in our culture we are missing out on. And I cannot tell you when I get quiet and I'm willing to go below the neckline, I really, and that's G-rated, I can find so much information my body always knows and it never lies. So practices that can help you do that, breathing practices, yoga practices, going to a dance class, like just moving your body and not to burn calories, but to cultivate a relationship with your body. We aren't taught how to do this. We're not taught how to be in our bodies. And so how to feel good in your body, that's going to be something that you're going to discover. And again, I can be like, buy 2 outfits, 3 outfits, 7 outfits. That's good advice. But the not to toot my own horn, but the awesome advice is let your body speak to you. Let your body tell you how.
Yeah. How do you tune into that? If you're really not, I mean, because so many of my listeners, me too, I've had to do a lot of work in this area as well. It's like we're very in tune with what goes on above our neck, right? And
Hmm.
like we get up there, and that is very disconnected sometimes from what's going on below our neck. And
Okay, Rebecca, do you want to go a little woo with me right now? Just like
okay,
like
let's do
1
it.
minute. Come
Let's
on,
do it.
Rebecca. Okay, so you guys, I really want to encourage you guys to just do this. Do not turn this off. This is going to be the greatest gift you're going to give yourself today. I pinky promise. Okay. So
Okay.
I want you guys, if you're driving, obviously you're not going to close your eyes. Or if you're walking and you don't know your route, don't close your eyes. But it doesn't matter. You don't have to close your eyes. If you can close your eyes, you feel safe to close your eyes. Close your eyes. And then I want you to bring your hands to your heart like in a little prayer pose. And I want you to rub your palms together. Like really go fast and hard and create some heat. And then I want you to bring one hand onto your heart and one hand onto your belly. And like some of you are going to be like, oh, I don't want to put my hand on on my belly. Like get in there. Like that's your beautiful belly. And if you don't think so, it's okay. And then all I want you to do is take a giant inhale and feel your hands lift, your palms lift. So big inhale. Feel your chest and your belly lift into your palms. And then I want you to hold the breath in at the top. And then I want you to sip in even more breath. And then I want you to sigh it out your mouth. Exhale. And then I want you to do just one more time. Stay with me. Inhale super deep. Feel your belly fill. Feel the back kidney band fill. Feel the back of your heart all the way up under your collarbones. Sip in a little bit more.
I can't.
Sorry. And then just exhale loudly if you can. Be kind of a creep. Good. You are in your body. You have dropped down simply by feeling your heart and your solar plexus. And then you don't have to get an answer here, but I want you to just ask your body, your heart, your gut, hey, body, what do I need to know today? What piece of wisdom do you have to share with me today? Be willing to trust the answer you got. It's the right answer. Do not negate it. Do not whack-a-mole it. And then take one more inhale right into the back of your heart. Big breath in. Sigh it out. Exhale. And then release your hands. So
Feels
just
so
3
cool.
deep breaths. Like you guys did it. It's not esoteric. It's not
Yeah.
hard. It's 3
Hmm.
deep breaths. And just the question, hey, what wisdom do you have for me today? What do I need to know that you know? Did you get anything? Did your body tell you anything?
I started to think about actually the next thing I have to do, which is I take my daughter to piano lessons after this, and I want to take a walk while she is
Mm,
taking the piano. And I had thought about that a while ago, and I was like, I can't do that. I got so many things to do. I got to be on a different call. I was like, I could take a call and walk at the same time.
mm.
Both,
Yeah.
it's fine. Like
Your body will always tell you.
I shut
It will
down all the
always,
reasons, but that came up again. It's like I just need to move my body.
yeah. And I bet you it will actually be easier for you to follow through on that wisdom because it's
Hmm.
so truthful.
Yeah. Wow, that's super powerful. And we didn't, I mean, again, we're not even talking about weight or anything. We're just talking about like having a conversation
Yeah.
with your body, the thing below your neck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And getting in tune with what what they say and what their little groans sound like, if
Mhm.
you will.
Yeah.
Their little whispers. I mean, we all talked to our infants. They didn't say words. Like we started to get to know what different cries meant. We started to get to be in tune with their like natural rhythms and desires. We're not talking about anything differently. We're just talking it's just with you, right?
Yeah.
It's taking the time to practice that with yourself. I love
And
that.
it was so interesting in like the work that I do is like we tune back into our hunger cues and our satiety cues, which we've
Yeah.
all lost. A lot of us have lost. And it's actually a spiritual experience. Like a lot of my clients just feel so much more whole and they love being able to hear, oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I'm full. Like it
Mm,
again,
yeah.
we started living so much from the neck up of like, when should I eat? And planning and prepping. And I don't know, I think our bodies just have so much wisdom. And what I wanted to say real quick is you guys be willing to trust the little whispers that your body gives you. You're going to want to be like, wait, really? Was that my body? Is that really what it said? Just trust it. And it's
Yeah.
going to whisper to you. And then it will get louder and louder the more you trust it and build the relationship. And then it will just be a very natural conversation that you'll be having all the time.
I love it. I love it. I love this conversation, and one of the realities is a lot of women do in fact there's
Mm,
how do I fit
yeah.
in anything related to
Another
me
thing.
losing weight and, like, focusing on my health? How do you tend to, like, work with that?
I mean, number 1, like, my program is literally built for busy moms because I'm a busy mom and, like, it has to work. So, like, I do not meal prep. I do not track. I do not put anything in an app, nor do I teach any of this. I actually don't working out is not a part of my program at all. Now, personally, I work out every day because of like mental health reasons and like being in my body reasons. But it's not something you have to do. My program helps moms save time because they're not dealing with excessive meal. Like they figure out what matters and what doesn't matter. And they also balance their hunger hormones. And when your hunger hormones are balanced, you're not dealing with cravings. You like learn to plan. It takes 5 minutes a day max in a way that's supportive for your present day self and then your future self. So, like, you're not hungry, you're not overly full. Like, the amount of times my clients have told me that living in this way saves them time is
Interesting.
bananas. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we waste so much time ruminating and thinking and worrying and second guessing and deciding and redeciding and
And then
feeling
doing
bad
things
and
that
then
don't work too. Like
yeah.
take me, I was doing 2-a-days. I basically became a yoga teacher so I could work out more. Like I was doing all this meal prep. I was putting everything in an app. I was counting every calorie. I was buying every cleanse and none of it worked. It was a waste of time. And so, yeah, you do not have to meal prep. You do not have to change your social life, your calendar, your work life, your family life. You don't have to make your family like cut their favorite things. You don't have to cut your favorite things. Like it actually sounds too good to be true sometimes when I'm talking about it. A big reason why it saves so much time is because we take away all of the chatter.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. So, what are some what are some of those like little steps? I mean, join Laura's program, everyone. Like I think she's got an enrollment happening soon. Like no doubt. This feels like if this is one of your goals for 2025, you should definitely be thinking about this. And what are some of those little like nuggets that people can do on their own moving toward that?
It's a really hard to have balance in your life or work life balance. It's really hard to have health and well being if your hunger hormones are not balanced. But what the heck does that mean?
Yeah, I have no idea. I've
Yeah,
never don't
it
know.
it honestly it means moving towards eating whole foods. And a lot of my clients are like, I eat whole foods, I eat healthy. And it's like, I know that's what I said too. And I did eat healthy like 80% of the time, but I was eating ultra processed and processed foods here and there. And so what I teach my clients to do is to move more towards whole foods and less and stop eating sugar and flour are my big recommendations. And a lot of people like kind of freak out about that. And a lot of people don't freak out about that, but that is like one really easy way. Now, I also give my clients a huge platter for which they can pick from. So all of my clients have different plans. And sometimes when I say the word plan, people like freak out because they're like, oh, that sounds like a diet. And I actually do teach healthy restriction. We've swung too far from one end of the pendulum to the other. There's been a lot of us that have been in the land of over restriction. And when we're in over restriction, like eating 1,000 calories or whatever, what happens is we create an over desire. The over desire is insatiable. And then we end up overeating. And it's a cycle. You realize you've overeaten, then you over restrict, you create over desire, you over. So then we go to the other end and we're like, you know what? F this. This doesn't work. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to eat whatever I want, whenever I want. Now, this is the pendulum I lived in for almost 20 years. Hello, yo-yo dieting. The middle path is healthy, happy restriction. Like think of anything in your life that you are proud of, that you've created. There's been healthy restriction there in your parenting, in your marriage, in your sleep, in other healthy habits that you have, in the way that you talk to your boss. Like they move up the deadline, you are not flipping out at them because you want a certain result. Like you went to.
I mean, you are maybe internally, but you've learned how to have the restriction of what that.
Yeah.
Of what that looks like.
Totally. Exactly. Totally. And so I do believe that if we want to create the health and well-being and longevity that in the bodies, that we need to balance our hunger hormones and move away from processed food like sugar and flour. But again, all of my clients have a different plan because I don't believe that one size fits all works. I believe in that everybody needs a custom approach for their bio-individuality and also for their lifestyle. So everybody's different. And that's like part of the beauty of it. So,
yeah, so good. We could just keep talking and talking. And we had, I don't know how many things interrupt our ability to have this conversation right now today. So robbed us of our time. But Laura, thank you for being here, for your wisdom and everything. Tell us how listeners can connect with you.
Yeah. Well, Rebecca was just on my podcast, so you should totally go listen to that. If you're a podcast person, my podcast is Lose Weight for the Last Time with Laura Conley. And there's so many nuggets. It's really not just about weight loss, as you guys have gotten a taste. No pun intended here. And then you can go to lauraconley.com if you want to learn a little bit more about how to work together. And my Instagram is at Laura Conley Coaching. And I did bring you guys a gift. If you are curious about losing weight without counting calories and doing stuff that you hate, you can go to plan.lauraconley.com. And I created, it usually costs money, but for you guys, it's free. So plan.lauraconley.com, and you can get my 3-step plan to losing weight without counting calories and doing other stuff that you don't like doing. This is like what I created that I would have wanted so desperately. It's literally made for busy moms.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you. Look at you. So good. Thank you. We will put all of the links to that in the show notes, of course. All right, working moms, until next week, let's get to it. Hey, working moms, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I want to let you know that the next cohort for my group coaching program, Ambitious and Balanced, is starting soon. If you're looking to make 2025 the year when you not only learn how to create sustainable work-life balance, but you actually put it into practice so that you and your family come first without sacrificing success at your job, then this program is for you. I'm only taking 10 women into this next cohort, and you're not going to want to miss this opportunity to get started this year. To learn more, you can head to my website, www.rebeccaolsoncoaching.com/ambitious and balanced. This is the year where you feel successful both at work and home, and I can't wait for you to start. I'll see you next week. And until then, let's get to it.